I thought about it and I went, I could totally turn this around. So I said, hey, Merry Christmas. And he stops talking to the corner. And he goes, hey, man, Merry Christmas to you. And I was like, hey, you want something to drink? You want some candy or something? And he goes, oh, yeah, man, Merry Christmas. And all of a sudden there was no...
Mm-hmm. And sometimes by judging in a situation, you can do that. And there's... Just because we teach... I mean, I think you've been.
I had a guy bark at me one time.
It happens.
Yeah,
I can tell you some stories.
Yeah. This dude, he's sitting on the bench and he starts barking and chasing me. I'm like, walking my dog. I'm like, oh crap, this guy's nuts, man.
and we come into those situations, and those are not situations where we probably want to,
there was a cop like a block up. I'm like, hey, there's a weirdo back there. You need to go talk to him.
But did you call the police or did you call animal control? That's the thing. How do you make that decision at that point, right?
Exactly. Right.
But things like that do occur, and they don't always call for, especially a firearm to be involved. There's other things that we can do, and one of the things that we try to teach is avoiding the thing altogether.
Yeah, we could always go the other way, keep our damn mouths shut, but I don't know how to do that.
That's the best way to do it. I mean, and we find that as we've talked about this, and I know you've been in the class, so is your wife in the opposite classes, that women seem to be a lot better at that intuition and avoiding those things, whereas men will say, oh, well, I'm a big macho guy.
Yeah, I'm invisible.
I'll go do it. No, not invisible, invincible. I think
invincible,
you're thinking, right? You're thinking nothing can hurt me. I'm a big tough guy. Yeah. You insert sometimes a guy that is now carrying and has the right to do so.
The sad part about it is a guy that's 5'4" and 140 pounds. If he's on something, that dude is like superhuman.
Yeah, depending on what they are, and we have some of these things out there like bath salts and PCP. PCP's a little bit older era, but you see stuff like that sometimes.
People have bath salts.
Oh, bath salt. Yeah, you haven't heard of the bath salt drug? Yeah, I'd say, look, Google that, and you Google it out there too.
I mean, I know that Hunter Biden was smoking Parmesan cheese.
Supposedly.
Hey, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Came out of his mouth.
I've never heard. Unless that's a new slang for something new.
I'm thinking, well, no, he said that he couldn't get the real stuff, so he would smoke Parmesan cheese. I'm thinking, is there a high off of Parmesan cheese? Because that stuff is bomb on spaghetti.
I eat a lot of it. I've never felt any mind-altering effects. I can tell you that. I was never afraid to drive after having a cannoli. I'll guarantee it. So I don't know. There's people think of different ways to do things, and whatever entertains you, right?
All right, so let's talk about the class. Let's get to the point here.
We try. It's got to be entertaining. You can't just deliver dry, boring information.
Oh my!
That's not how our class is. That's not how our videos are.
And everyone knows that
It's all real people here.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm a bit colorful. All right, so the class. Obviously, this video is going to go out for other classes, but talk to me about the women's class. What do people get?
Well, in particular, what I love about the women's classes, we're talking a lot about situational awareness and how to avoid even being in a situation in the first place. We're taking that, hey, what are those things that I normally do in my everyday life that could possibly be dangerous? What do I just need to be aware of? We're not trying to raise fear and say, hey, sit there locked up in your house, but I want to be able to.
Yeah, we're not the government. We don't do that.
No. That's for what's his name? Okay,
we're leaving
the recall guy, right? So here's the thing. What we want you to do is just be able to. Let's say you got to go run. You got to go run errands. You got to go pick up your kids. You got to go do whatever it is you need to do. Don't stop doing those things, but recognize signs and people around you that would suggest that this is not a safe situation. So you can
not only that, you're pumping your gas, okay? You're pumping gas at a gas station. Guy comes up behind you, reaches over to grab you. You immediately know what to do in a situation like that, and you can handle that situation.
Right.
You're pumping gas. Guy walks up to you with a gun and tells you to get into his car. You are also strapped. Guess what? Now you've got an even keel and you know what to do in that situation.
Right.
And again, that's what this is for, is to protect you in those situations. Realtors, you guys are in homes every day.
We've had a huge amount of female realtors come through our class, as you know.
And you don't know what's going to happen inside the house. You don't know the person that you're working with, and you are closed up inside of a house, and we hear it all the time. And
kidnappings, rapes, whatever they are.
Exactly.
And I know a lot of the. If you're anybody, but particularly if you are a realtor, you want to see the feedback that we've received from our female clients from realtors on our webpage. They've given us nothing but 5-star reviews. They feel so much more prepared. Now, the big thing about the women's classes, not only are we going through situational awareness, here's how to watch out for things. we're going out there, we're doing some shooting. But then we've involved Master Crop with Pharaoh Stanley Taekwondo, and we're going out there, we're getting a couple hours with him where if you're grabbed, here's some things that you can do to get yourself away.
Right.
It's also giving you his 2 weeks for, I essentially pay your two weeks for $20 with the uniform. You get 2 weeks to go in there to see if that's something you want to explore further. You know, as we've talked about before, you can go out and swim once or twice and say, yeah, I might know it. If you practice and you keep putting that into use, you're going to learn. Just like going to the range, you'll become better and better at it.
Right.
Really one of the biggest things that I've kind of seen is training away a lot of misconceptions that people have about firearms and what they should do.
People are afraid of firearms because of what the media says.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they think that they're weapons. They think that they're, assault weapons. Assault. What do they call them? Assault weapons.
Assault rifle. The big one's the AR-15 that supposedly stands for assault rifle.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, come on, man.
So the assault is not a thing. It's not a thing. It's an action. People assault people. Assault AR-15 doesn't stand for assault rifle. It's Armalite Rifle, which is the company that originally made it. Things like California calling anything over 10 rounds high capacity. It's not its standard capacity.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a friend who took her concealed carry class the other day and goes to another place. I'm not going to mention it's not in the state, but she was told that if you shoot somebody, get on the phone with 911. This is assuming they're still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And tell them, hey, I've shot this person, and if they're still alive, I want to press charges. Worst advice I've ever heard in my life.
Where was this? Texas?
I will tell you offline because I don't like to badmouth other companies, but get advice from somebody who knows what the heck they're doing, not just somebody who wants to make a few bucks training you and have you come back and.
Well, I've seen this is a training video that we were making fun of actually. In fact, we should do some of those where we make fun of those training videos. The guy shoots himself in the foot and the other guy shoots the ceiling and stuff.
The one guy, you tagged me in the one where he shot the roof and he said, I want you to do it just like that.
The guys are like, are you sure you've done this before? He's like, oh yeah, I meant to do that. Like, no, you didn't.
No, there's just there's a lot of misinformation, and that particular.
And see, that wouldn't have happened had he been following your advice, which is keep your finger off of the damn trigger.
Right.
It wouldn't have happened.
It doesn't go on the trigger. Even if someone is approaching me and I'm telling them to stop, it's not going to go on the trigger until I'm ready. I'm going to have to shoot at that point, right? Oh, I don't have to, but this is what I'm like, hey, I've given you enough warning. Now you're in that kind of bubble that we don't like.
Correct.
Which is what we talk about a lot in class, that your protective bubble. Very easy during COVID, right? It's supposed to be 6 feet now. Mm-hmm. I don't see everybody doing it.
We're actually sitting 6 feet apart. We're actually just 17 feet tall.
This has actually been, the video has been altered to
we filmed these in 2 different locations, so we just photoshopped this together.
And through the magic of your video editing, you're able to make this look perfect. It's great. Really should try it. So, so things like that. But we don't say things like this. I mean, if we end up being in a situation where we decide, hey, we're going to have a concealed carry, we don't. Even when we make that initial phone call, hey, I was attacked. I've had to defend myself. Please send the police. We're not specific. Why are we not specific at that point? We don't want to be charged.
Well, duh.
But if we're the good guy, why are we worried about that?
Right.
Do you know why? We talked about this. I don't know if you remember.
Because it's the state of California and people don't like guns.
Well, that's a big part. But the bigger part is a mental issue, right? So when you have these really stressful things that happen in your life, which I think we would both agree, getting in a gunfight probably is stressful.
We don't want to talk about it for about 24 hours so we can
48 hours, actually.
48 hours.
We want to have 48 hours of kind of let my mind get together time. If I tell you, hey, Officer Robert, here's what happened within 5 minutes, and I say, oh gosh, you know what? That's not what happened. This is the way it happened. Guess what's getting admitted? What I first said.
Correct.
And law enforcement is not our enemy at all. There's nobody more supportive than a well-armed, legally armed, responsible citizen than a law enforcement officer. But they don't know what's happening when you get out there. The two of us go at it. They don't know who's good and who's bad.
Correct.
They have to investigate. They have to write things down. They have to figure out, hey, what happened in this scene? What can I do?
If you've got somebody dead, you've only got one side of that story.
Absolutely. Or unless you have some witnesses, which are maybe going to be not as reliable because they're.
But you've also got cameras
looking
everywhere now.
You do.
Like that. That couple, he kills this girl. The whole thing was on camera.
Everybody's got a camera somewhere now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's so those are helpful, but you want to rely on the biggest thing that's going to happen is your side of the story sitting in court when they're talking to you. They're going to look for
and this is again, this is really what we're going to be digging down with the class. How do people get in contact with you, man?
Well, people can go to we're on Facebook, Sheepdog Defensive Training. And we also have sheepdogdefensivetraining.net is our website. That's where you can kind of go and do things. Email at sheepdogdefensivetraining@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or all else fails, 916-548-5326. That's our phone number. We respond usually within 24 hours, I would say.
Okay.
Probably sooner in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
If you respond to my Facebook page, Robert's Bird Dog in it, and he'll text me and say, "Hey, somebody's trying to get a hold of you."
Yep.
So we're very serious about the class and about getting you guys the protection, and the ladies and the guys, the protection that they need and the knowledge that they need to. We're not only trying to protect you before, during, it's the after as well. It's all the things. It's a big package that says, "Hey, here's how I keep myself not only alive but out of jail, out of court, out of being sued."
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things, as you said, in the state of California that are very important to know if you're going to defend yourself. I don't even care if you have a concealed carry, if you just have a shotgun in your house.
Or you don't even have a weapon, because you can still do things with your fists that can get you in a ton of trouble, especially if you are in martial arts. And you can get in trouble for that too. And again, that's what this class is about, is how to protect yourself.
Yep.
And part of yourself is your intellectual properties and your family and your rights and
right.
Yeah.
You have to defend the rights for sure.
All right, guys. Hey, sheepdogdefensivetraining.net. And just get in contact with them. We're here to help. And thanks for watching. See you guys next time.
Thanks for watching.